shameless plug incoming. Today's episode is brought to you by the book Everyone is a Sinner But Me, available now at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. Pre-recorded from Volpes Studios, it's the MCS1 show featuring Caleb Heller and now your host, MCS1.
Welcome! Happy New Year, everyone! Welcome to an exciting New Year 2018 New Year, New Me bullshit show.
Yay! New Year, New Me!
Woo! Yeah.
I have waited 365 days to say New Year, New Me because this year is going to be my year. Like last year.
Yeah, just like last year. I don't know. I'm not really feeling it. I think 2019 is going to be my year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See, and people will always say, by the way, I'm already hating this joke. I'm going to say it right now. I freaking hate this joke. Well, when people ask me about my future goals, I tell them my vision is in 2020.
Oh god!
I just want to slap everyone that says that. So preemptively, if you're about to make that joke in 2020, accept a slap from me.
Well, I was gonna let you know that my vision is never mind.
Oh,
No, oddly enough, here's something really interesting. With that New Year, New Me bullcrap, I've actually lost about 5 pounds.
Attaboy. But you started before the new year, though, which is awesome.
A little bit, yeah. I finally, Caleb and I, we got a little group text that we constantly use, and we chat about whatever the hell. And Shane Barker is, for some reason, included in it.
I still don't understand that, but it's okay.
Yeah, he's just there, like fly on the wall. And so we've been talking about intermittent fasting, and I've been trying that. And I kind of stopped a while ago when I got back in Iowa losing weight. I was losing so much weight, and then I kind of just plateaued. And I started gaining weight back that was muscle, I guess. I just couldn't lose anymore. I started this intermittent fasting thing, and I've lost 5 pounds within a week of doing it. It's been awesome.
Dude, that is that's awesome, man.
So awesome. So new year, new me. I'll probably stop at another 5 pounds. But since we got a new year, Caleb and I, we've been working on some stuff in the shadows, off and on, and we haven't really made it public yet. We're going to in a while. Don't get me wrong. We're just wanting to build this up. But we got something really cool. And the way we're going to really show people what we've done is through this little mailing list that we're promoting.
Right.
And so if you guys want to get on that, head to the MCS1show.com and just sign up for the mailing list. We promise some really cool shit when we finally have it drop. But right now we're just kind of getting in preparation mode.
Right.
At the moment. But Caleb and I have been discussing it. And I've told a few select people, really close people, diehard fans about what we're doing. But soon, people, soon. But seriously, get on that mailing list, the MCS1show.com. It's going to be awesome. Trust me.
It's going to be a big deal, seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal for us, our show, which is a big deal.
Right.
I think it's a big deal.
Everyone who doesn't is either Shane or a dick.
I know, seriously. Fuck you, Shane Barker. So oddly enough, so we kind of took a little bit of a break last year. Towards the end of the year, Caleb and I took a holiday break, and a couple of my friends were like, "Where's the show?"
Which is awesome.
Yeah, which was kind of nice, but because we weren't releasing episodes, I was like, I want to take Christmas break to decompress. I work at a college, so I had 2 weeks off, and I was just like, yeah, this is kind of nice. And then a couple of my friends were like, where was the show? And one of my friends is actually our former, I guess, producer, Jordan, back when we were on This University Life radio station.
Dude, forever ago.
Man,
Yeah.
You remember that?
I remember.
I remember. Man, those were the days. He was like, it was so funny because he said to me, he goes, I feel like I talk to you all the time, but I haven't talked to you in a couple of months. It's just because I listen to your show. And I was like, yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Well, we love you. So
yeah, shout out to Jordan Huey. He just had his birthday a couple days ago. So happy late birthday, Jordan, because I know you're listening.
Yeah, fucking Shane.
Thanks, Shane. Yeah, seriously. So talking about the new year, new me stuff. We've discussed that in the past. We discussed it literally about a year ago. And so we wanted to get into something a little bit different. In 2016, when the year first started, I kept saying that, sorry, let me backtrack. In 2017, I mean, I kept saying that it was going to be the year of marches. Because
Right.
it started off that everybody was marching for something.
Dude, so many marches.
I mean, we were even going to cover, we haven't done this yet, and still a tentative topic in our little schedule, the Juggalo March by the Insane Clown Posse. For
wow.
for the Juggalo March on Washington. I mean, we still haven't covered that. And just so the listeners are aware, Caleb and I have scheduled out all of our shows for this year and what we're going to be talking on what day and everything. Now keep in mind, everyone, this is a tentative schedule because we're pretty sure VidAngel's going to fuck up again. And then we're going to have to report on the bullshit that they're trying to spew.
I mean, it's just bound to happen.
It really is. It really is. Speaking of VidAngel, I was talking with one of my friends about this a little bit and the show that we did on VidAngel and how upset I was about the owner or whatever, and his reply to me on his website. He said to me, watch us, and then he put the Art of War quote when I told him he would not laugh.
From Sun Tzu.
Yeah, and my friend who he likes to be coined the term, or his pseudonym is Andrew WJ, which I think is a pretty killer tag. And like I thought it was pretty clever, to be honest. But I'm all about puns. I'm all about puns and stuff like that. But Andrew WJ said he's a guy who kind of thinks he's a Chinese general, and he's just off hawking hawking edited videos of other people's work. And yep. I've never quite heard it that way, but man, it's so true.
Didn't the great Sun Tzu do that?
I know, seriously.
And when I think of Mao, I think, man, that guy sure did pirate a lot of videos.
Yeah, seriously. And then get mad when people told him he was going to get shut down.
Yeah. Hey, stop pirating. No.
Yeah, seriously. But no, I just thought that was like the funniest thing ever. And I know we can't really backtrack to VidAngel, but I wanted to get that out there because I just thought it was so funny. Right. Like I was laughing for a good 30 seconds over that.
You mean it wasn't a full 5 minutes?
No, it wasn't a full 5 minutes. I don't got a good full 5 minutes of laughter in me. But yeah, 2017, year of marches.
Yep.
And that was nuts. For the first 3 months, it was like a women's march, and then there was a Pepsi commercial with Kendall Jenner. Had a march going on in it.
That whole thing, that whole commercial, that blew up so fast in her face.
Oh man, my favorite thing to do with that commercial is every time I take a Snapchat picture or something like that, I'll pull it up in the background and I'll have the video paused on my computer.
Oh man, that's awesome.
When I take it, so it's I'll have something else on my computer and then I'll have that off to the side. It's just one of these staples of random stupid things I have on the background. Before that, back in the day, I was using Obama's MySpace for when I was for when I was doing something really stupid. I actually made a video with Shane Barker a couple years back, and we pulled the same thing. We had an Obama MySpace in there, but yeah, back to the marches. These fizzled out quick.
Super quick.
Yeah, super quick. And that was my thing. I was so set. I was 2017 is gonna be the year of marches, calling it now. And that was gonna be my platform. I was just so sure that it was gonna happen. And everyone was gonna be marching in Washington. And then it fizzled out and I felt kind of stupid. And my prediction was terrible.
I mean, at least it was the quarter of marches. It was the first quarter of marches, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then the Kendall Jenner march.
That kind of ended it.
Yeah, that kind of really did end it, didn't it?
It kind of made everybody uncomfortable about marching anymore.
It really did. We are the chosen. We are the whatever. I mean, it was.
And then it was like, ooh.
I bet that was written when everyone was doing the marches.
Dude, probably.
Yeah, like really, I really do.
Probably, dude.
Most likely. And then, how long it takes, for production to line up and everything. It took a while to go into place. But anyway, 2017 wasn't the year of the marches. But another mantle was picked up. Instead of marching on Washington or real life, it was the year of social media marches and causes.
Yep.
Man, I'm not talking just Facebook. I'm talking, that I generally hate. I'm talking Twitter,
Instagram, yeah, got in on it, yeah.
I mean, it was
YouTube even got in on it.
Really?
Yeah, like YouTube had like a series of videos about different social causes.
Oh man, and it just kind of, I don't know. I've seen social causes before, which we'll get into later on. Saving kind of the best for last, which, not gonna lie, everyone, it's good. And I'm hoping we don't shift topics too much that we end up spoiling it for everyone. But yeah, this year, let's talk about some of these big topics that came out in these social media marches. First of all, I'm gonna go with the elephant in the room, the Me Too hashtag.
Yep.
And
good old Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, Harvey Weinstein. What the hell, Harvey?
Dude, that guy got crucified this year.
Yeah, he totally did. And Caleb and I, we try to shy away from like the mainstream type stuff. Unfortunately, this does go in with our social media marches and the points that we're trying to get across. So
right.
Harvey just got it. And oddly enough, Caleb and we discussed this a while ago, like post-show once.
Right.
And good old Harvey, this type of thing had been going on for years. Yep. And I'm guessing people either, came forward, which seems like a likely scenario, or B, he pissed off the wrong people, and then, no one was there to save him type of thing. Because I'm pretty sure there were people coming forward quite a bit.
Well, there were a lot of them. Obviously, I mean, we all know it started with, somewhat, I guess, formerly known stars. I mean, there were a few of them that put out some things, and then there was a lot of. The funny thing about it is that there was definitely a lot of infighting, like among the like the Hollywood insiders or whatever, and it was just like, oh, cool. So, are we gonna make movies anymore, or is that done, or?
And the interesting thing, and I'm not talking just like the whole Me Too scandal or whatever. Let's get back to Harvey for a minute. Caleb, you had a very interesting point in one of our conversations about 30 Rock.
Right. So 30 Rock, actually, they've run jokes on the Harvey Weinstein thing for years. And for those who are familiar with the show, obviously it's the show with Tina Fey. It's got Tracy Morgan, a few others. And then there's the show that Tina Fey writes for is a show called The Girl Show or something like that. I can't remember exactly.
The Girly Show.
The Girly Show, yeah. With Jenna Malone. Now Jenna Malone is like the main character of that fictional TV show. So and I forget the actress that plays her, but that's not really the important thing. But back in 2005, they ran a joke, or sorry, 2006. 2005 is when they started. 2006, in the second season, they ran a joke where that lady, Jenny Malone, or Maloney, it's either Malone or Maloney, doesn't really matter, but basically she ran a joke out where she was just like, I'm so famous that I rebuffed Harvey Weinstein's sexual advances. Well, 2 times out of 5. and it was like
I shouldn't laugh, but it's kind of sad. But it wasn't intended to be a joke.
I mean, it is a joke. It's supposed to be totally. A joke, But, and like, okay. Obviously, there needs to be a clear differentiation. I mean, if some guy approaches and says, "Hey, I want to have sex with you," and the girl says yes, clearly that's one thing. But the things that he was being accused of were a lot darker than that. You know?
Yeah, and look, we're not gonna get into those. That's not what we're,
no. No, that's not what our show's about.
Yeah, not what our show's about.
But the point is that clearly it was a widely known thing that he was a bit of a, creep in that way.
Yeah. So the Me Too movement sparks.
Right.
And I think the original way that came out, from what I've seen from digging into the internet and researching this, was Alyssa Milano. She tweeted, "If you've been sexually harassed or assaulted, write Me Too as a reply to this thread," and then it just blew up. And I was like, okay, that's very interesting. That just sparked and it went like crazy. So then I, as an outsider, I see on Facebook all these girls or a lot of my friends putting hashtag Me Too.
Right.
And I'm like, well, what is this? What's going on? And I research into it and I see it and I'm like, oh my God. And so I message a majority of them. I go, hey, what's going on here? And my thing was, I wasn't like looking for a fight or anything like that, or asking them, why the hell did you do this? My thing was, what happened to you? And I was like legitimately concerned for a lot of these girls or whatever, because like it bothered me.
Right.
But, my friends had this happen. A lot of them just replied. They were just kind of in on the bandwagon, so to speak.
Oh, wow.
And like that, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of infuriated me a little bit. Because here I am, I'm like overly concerned with my friends or whatever. I'm like, exactly. You were sexually assaulted. Like, that's a big deal. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's horrible.
I really care. And then it's like, oh, I'm just getting in on this. I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's maddening.
Yeah, and it kind of destroys like their personal credibility.
Right.
And it kind of did with me. I was like, I don't know if I want to trust this person that much anymore. I mean, they're still my friend, but it's a little messed up.
Yeah, and that's the problem, is like when it's like you just say things like that, you just put it out into the ether, and it's like if somebody responds and is like, "Oh my gosh, can I help you?" and then they're just like, "Oh, I just thought it was a cool movement." Then it's like, okay, clearly you missed the bill on this.
Yeah, and the other thing about that is it's like a total boy who cried wolf.
Oh, right, exactly.
Or in this case, it's like the girl who cried rape.
Right.
And I know that's not like a popular thing to say, but if you're saying you were like sexually assaulted and you like weren't, no one's gonna believe you. Sexual assault is not a joke.
Right, exactly.
I mean, we're not even joking about it on the show. We kind of joke about everything.
Exactly. And like the thing is like clearly this is a serious topic, and it's and it's all that, but it's like, I mean, if you're gonna just do it just to do it, with no real reasons, honestly, and I got to be honest on this, it kind of bothers me when people do that, because I mean, there are a lot of people, and not to, I don't want anybody to think of anything like as in a victimization of myself or anything in this, but like I've been falsely accused of that kind of a thing. And it's like, that's also not okay. And it's like, if you're just going to join a movement just to be a bandwagoner, then how many people are you going to affect with that?
Yeah, and in addition to that, when you're over promoting like a hashtag or a social media cause, as we're discussing, it's gonna mess with the social media algorithms.
Oh, like big time.
And it's gonna create false trend spikes.
Yep.
And I'm starting to wonder how much of this traction for the Me Too movement really was legitimate. Was it really people who have experienced sexual assault, or was it people on jumping onto a bandwagon?
Right. And another one that hits kind of close to home for me is that I have a really close friend. Yeah, he's a man, he's male, and he actually tweeted out the Me Too thing, and I know him personally, and as a child he was molested by somebody that he knew. And the funny thing is like there were a lot of people that supported him, and then there were like 2 or 3 people that were like, yeah, boys can't be raped. And it was like,
whoa.
And it was like, what?
Like, messed up.
Yeah. And I was like, and like, I'll be honest, I don't respond to things online often, but that one boiled my freaking blood.
Yeah,
I was
can
like,
see why.
because here's my point: is it's like that is a very horrible thing to happen to anyone, you know. And I mean, there are clearly cases where, especially in particular, young males, young boys, have sexual assault, rape, whatever the case may be, and it's like you cannot be serious in saying, oh, this is only a woman's thing. It's like, come on now.
Yeah.
You're seriously gonna, kick it out. And it's like, and honestly, this close friend of mine, and I'm obviously not gonna bring up names or anything, but this close friend of mine, he does have some psychological damage because of it. And it's like, well, yeah, of course you do. That's horrible. You
Yeah.
know?
And
And then
his
for people to come in and be like, oh well, it can only happen to women. It's like that kind of trivializes his experience. And it's like
yeah,
that's just really messed up.
and that's one thing I was glad I didn't like comment
Right.
on and like bring out into the forefront. But I have a feeling it would have been like even like for someone that it happened to, or the girls that were being on the bandwagon regardless, I think it would have embarrassed them and it would have been very difficult to talk about.
Right, right. And
And
to be honest, he actually put that out a couple of days after the initial movement because he was legitimately frightened of the responses.
yeah, and I don't blame the guy.
And it's like now I'm like, yeah, you had every reason to be, a little afraid about these responses because look at them, you know.
Now let's talk Me Too, the outcome of it. Outside of Hollywood. Now we know
Sure.
Hollywood, many celebrities lost their jobs. They got blacklisted from the
Right,
industry.
right,
Um, it's heck, it's like being a communist back in the day.
right, right.
Yeah, very similar. But what about the local level? That's my question. Um, did this hashtag empower women or men, especially in the case of your friend, to come
Yeah.
forward in the courtroom rather than social media?
Right.
Um,
And the thing is like from what I saw on a local level, there was just a lot of chatter, but no real, court cases coming up. Now,
yeah,
in the case of this friend of mine, the crazy thing is that he actually did come forward a few years ago, and because he had definitive proof, the guy's actually behind bars. So it's like it's good when you actually do something about it. And more than anything else, he was just like, well, I mean, everything has technically been resolved, but it's like, but I want to, just because this is the movement, he was like, I think I should because there's not enough awareness about what happens to younger boys or whatever. And I was like, yeah, why not? Do it. You
yeah,
know, um, and like to be honest, I feel bad. I feel a little guilty because he actually consulted with me on it. He was like, "What do you think about that?" And I was like, man, you know what?
it's Facebook. Go for it.
Well, and my response was, if it was me, I probably wouldn't, but that's more because I just don't care about those kinds of things. However, I've also never been assaulted in that way, so it's like obviously I don't understand, you know, how that kind of support would help you feel. And so I just said, listen, man, ponder on it yourself, think about it yourself, and if you really want to do it, you got my support, you know. And to be honest, dude, like that was probably my most active social media day in a long time because I was just I was just watching that thread, waiting for somebody to say something negative, and the second anybody did, I was just like, all right, let's talk about this real quick. And I definitely pissed a few people off. Don't even care,
Yeah,
because it's like, dude, don't attack somebody. The guy's a victim. Don't attack him.
yeah,
If he was, if this was a woman, or if he was a transgender or whatever, if he identified as a woman, nobody would say anything. You know, they'd be like, "Oh, you're so brave." But it's like, it's hard too for everybody. That's a hard
yeah.
thing
It's
to go
definitely
through.
not an easy thing.
Exactly.
Not. Let's shift gears away from the Me Too
Okay.
type of thing. Let's go to another one that was a big trend over 2017. The
Hooray!
the Take a Knee.
Oh my gosh.
Hashtag Take a Knee. This started back in 2016 with Colin Kaepernick. Did I say that right,
Yep.
Caleb?
Yep. Colin
Uh,
Kaepernick. That's the boy.
do you know the story behind this whole thing? A
Um.
little bit or kind of?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know,
No. I
I
I
know,
do. I do. I
but
do.
I figured it's better
Um.
if you explain because you actually
Basically,
watch sports.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I'm not like the biggest NFL fan. I follow the NFL a little bit, and I know I'm gonna get vilified for this one too. I do like the New England Patriots more than any other team, but I'm not like an avid like, oh, Tom Brady, he's the best. Oh, Bill Belichick, I would have his babies. Like there are a lot of rabid
My-
fans that are like that.
My
I'm not
brother
that
loves,
way.
My brother loves Tom Brady.
Okay. And you know what? And to be perfectly honest, dude, statistically speaking and accomplishments wise, he very well might be the best player ever. And that's just a slight opinion that I have based on some things that I've seen. I'm sure that there are people that have much more knowledge that could come against me with whatever.
You
To
probably
be honest,
you've probably triggered half our audience.
sorry.
And here's the thing: we were talking about the Me Too movement earlier,
Right,
and
which is hilarious.
which this probably
upsets them more, yeah. But and obviously, part of the reason a lot of people hate Brady today is because he did, openly support Trump, which I'm sure should have been career suicide, but he's so big that it's like he doesn't care.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point. Colin Kaepernick, he was a quarterback for the San Francisco 49ers. And he was basically he was getting to the end of the season. When was it, like about a year ago? And he was just like,
it was like in 2016 is when it started.
Yeah. So I guess a little over a year ago. Because it would have been almost 2 years ago then, actually. Because
almost 2 years.
Yeah, because it was I believe it was right after the playoffs of 2016. And then the entire 2017 season was the whole fiasco with that. But anyway, so he basically came out and he was just like, listen, like, I can't stand for a flag or show pride in a country, that oppresses black people and people of color, which I thought was a kind of a funny distinction, separating black people from people of color. Because
I'm guessing it talks about other minorities as well.
Well, it does. But I'm just saying, like, if the point is to include all people of color, why did he separate them? Anyway,
good point.
That's neither here nor there. But it was just kind of an interesting thing. When I saw that, I was like, wait a minute, are they not people of color? Is he saying that? But it's not a big deal. I mean, it doesn't really matter either way or whatever. And he's just like, and then in his whole statement, when we've got it here is, to me this is bigger than football, and it would be selfish on my part to look the other way. There are bodies in the street and people getting paid leave and getting away with murder. Now, obviously, that references a few different cases. We won't really go into those, but there's all those like young black kids that got shot by cops and all of that, and there's been a huge thing about it, and there's a lot of things that are kind of behind that. I mean, and there's I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of things that we could say about that one, and honestly, I've researched both sides of the coin on this one because it genuinely fascinated me. I don't really want to get into a ton of it because obviously that's kind of going on a little bit too long of a tangent. But I'm just gonna say it this way. Both sides, there's merit in both sides of the argument. There's merit. Yeah. There's merit on taking a knee or doing whatever. And to be perfectly frank, to me, taking a knee, that's a great peaceful protest. Now, what I will say, and this is the part that kind of annoyed me, is that while he was doing all of this, one of the interesting things is that basically, and I looked into a few of the threads on this, and one of the things that really kind of fascinated me is that it was like there was a guy that I follow on Twitter, and I'm not going to use names because I just don't want to, who actually wanted to get involved in the movement. Now, he's a white guy. I'm just going to put it straight out there. He's a white guy. Okay. He wanted to get involved. Right. And he actually had a bunch of various racial minorities come out against him wanting to join the movement. And I was like, but why? Why would you not want his support? Like, I get it.
Yeah, or anyone's support. It's
exactly. And to be perfectly honest, it's not like it was Donald Trump. Like, Donald Trump wasn't the one coming in here saying, I want to support you guys. And if he was, they'd be like, oh, you're just trying to, get something on us.
Then Trump does come in, unfortunately.
Well, he does, but obviously in opposition. I'm saying this guy was for the Take a Knee movement, obviously. I'm just saying it's not like this guy was Donald Trump coming out in support of Take a Knee,
And then
anyway, and it's just like come on, like, I get it. It's anger at, cops who are, the vast majority of cops are white because the vast majority of the population in America is white. But the funny thing about it, and this is the thing that's hilarious that I wish that some people would take into account, is that actually across the United States of America, per capita, black people are more likely to be cops, which is
Huh.
kind of funny to think about because they represent about 13% of the population, and they represent over 20% of policemen in the country. Now the reason is because it's a job, and it's a job that you know their skill set, and I'm again, please don't vilify me for this, but they're generally more athletic than white guys. They're stronger, they're faster. They just are. It's just how it is. And it generally caters to a lot of their skills. The other thing is, and this is a funny thing about it, detectives are actually per capita more likely to be black because they have better observational skills. It's
Hmm.
because of in a lot of cases, and this is a deeper study that we can talk about at another time. But it's in a lot of cases it's because when you grow up in the inner city, you have to be aware of all of your surroundings constantly, and because of that, their detection skills are much better than regular or not regular, but people that grow up outside of the inner city. And that's just kind of one of the things that kind of plays into it. And so it's just kind of funny where it's just like, oh, we hate cops, and it's like, but per capita, based on population demographics, more black people want to be cops, like per person, per 100 people, than white people want to be cops. And so it's just a funny little anecdote that doesn't really, honestly, it doesn't really mean much, but it's just like, I mean, maybe we should specify, that it's just this whole, okay, I get it. You guys are angry at the system, and the system, let's be serious. Obviously, over the last 100 years, there's been a lot of problems. I mean,
Yeah, but like all social media causes or movements, it always works in generalities.
exactly. And that's the
Um,
thing. That's the thing.
yeah,
If it was more specific, I think it would be better. But I get though that it is difficult in a social media cause to be specific. I get it.
yeah, and so let's bring something else into this. So Donald Trump,
Oh boy.
we brought him up, and talking about him not going to the side of joining this, but obviously against it,
Right.
and all this other stuff. So whether it was his choice or the advice of an idiot cabinet member, whoever, good old Donald, Easy D, as I like to call him,
Easy D.
Easy D, he starts tweeting. And so now that we got Donnie, Easy D in the picture, every time Trump touches anything, the whole media wants a piece of the pie.
Yep. That's just
Like,
what happens.
if you had an idea that sucked, and you got Easy D finding out, tweeting about it, all the media would be all over you.
Absolutely.
They,
Absolutely.
they just flock to everything he does, good or bad. The media is always there.
Dude,
And
they
it's not just-
salivate. They salivate waiting for it.
yeah, and it's not just because he's the president; it's just because he's controversial in nature.
Yep.
And honestly, I kind of believe that Donald Trump, this is just my personal theory, I believe he's a really smart guy, and he just likes fucking with people.
Dude,
I think he's a huge
agree.
troll, to
I
be
agree.
honest.
I agree. There was a funny one from Ben Shapiro about this, and he actually came out and he was like, because there were a lot of people saying like, oh well, whenever we see the flag or whenever we see Trump, we're just gonna take a knee now or whatever. And Shapiro responded to that, and he was like, good Lord, now Donald's got all of his enemies bowing to him. And I was like, oh man, if that's if that was his real intention from the beginning, well played, sir.
Yeah,
Well played.
and who knows? I think he just makes you.
I think it just happened, but
Yeah, totally. But regardless of all that, we got ED in the picture now.
yep.
And the Take a Knee movement, it's gotten traction, and social media spikes and a bunch of other things, but there really hasn't been an outcome to them. And then right now, if you search Me Too or Take a Knee or those hashtags, like on Facebook, Instagram,
Right,
or whatever, Twitter, you'll find posts that contain little to the original hashtags because marketers have gotten involved and they're trying to use it to sell their shit.
Oh boy.
Like it's ridiculous and it's really sad. It's kind of funny in a way.
Oh boy.
But that's what these tags do. It's a popular tag, so other people get involved and they start using it as their own, and trying to use it to sell their shit. It's really funny. So let's get into the mother of all hashtags.
The best hashtag ever.
My gosh, this is the best hashtag ever. This is my fucking favorite. Like nothing beats this one. Kony 2012.
Oh, Kony.
Oh my gosh, that was genius.
Oh yeah.
Good plan, well executed. Not that it was a good not that it did anything.
Nothing happened.
Oh fuck no. No, it just like ruined these causes and my perception of them for sure. So for those of you who aren't familiar with the Kony 2012 movement, which I doubt is many people, what it was is there was a Ugandan like warlord basically named Joseph Kony, and this was a film put out by a little company called the Invisible Children. They put out a video about this guy and how terrible he was, and it was just a very emotional video showing about him and how this warlord in Uganda has like 88 wives, 42 children, and claims to be a spokesman for God. And he had an army of 3,000 people, and he uses children for soldiers and sex slaves, and just all this stuff that's just very, very terrible, classic, awful dictator stuff. And so at the end of the video, you as a person can show your support by purchasing some awesome Kony 2012 merchandise to help stop this crazy warlord.
Oh, man.
So man, everyone was rocking the hashtag Kony 2012 bracelets, the shirts. I mean, it was like never seen so much merchandise for a cause. And my question was, what was this gonna do?
Well, exactly.
What was all this money gonna do? Were they gonna pool all the cash together, buy a band of mercenaries? Were they gonna get the Expendables to go and take out Kony? I mean, I'd love.
That'd be a great movie.
Yeah, it would. I'd love to, see Stallone and Dolph Lundgren, Jason Statham. I'd love to see all those guys, go after Kony. I think that would be great. Obviously, that's not what happened.
Nope.
No, and basically the intention of what they did was simple. Their real cause, and I can sum it up in the immortal word, Curtis 50 Cent Jackson: get rich or die trying.
Yep.
And that's what they did. They took all that money and just kind of gave it to themselves. It wasn't a charity they were running. It was basically a merchandising scam. And it worked so well. So it was insane. I bought a Kony 2012 shirt after everything died down too. I bought it a year later, and I would wear it around, and people would be like, dude, that was a lost cause. And I'm just like,
dude, so I have to be honest. I definitely had a gigantic, asshole moment. I didn't go through with it, thankfully. My wife advised me against it. But I was about to tweet out something with the hashtag Kony 2012 of so where do I sign up for his armies or?
Oh gosh, I was doing all sorts of terrible things with it. One thing that I put out that was actually quite terrible, and part of me kind of regrets this, was I put, so Kony and the Invisible Children aren't a, and that was one I put out that was pretty terrible. But after everything, I kept putting on Kony 2012 for a long time.
Sure.
And then even after the election, when Obama won, I put, don't worry, guys, Kony's going to run again. Kony 2016, and
he'll be back.
He'll be back, guys. But that's basically some of these social media causes. All it does is create traction, spikes, emotional response. Nothing much really happens outside of outside of the celebrity world, and it's really sad to say.
Yeah,
But
no, it really is.
my
It really is.
my hashtag that I want to put for everything also is a lot of this stuff, like these types of things, I'll be honest, they don't affect me in my day-to-day life.
Right.
And so I put, I'm thinking for me, it would be hashtag not my fight. Because
Right.
not really my fight. And to be honest, it's not a lot of our fights for
Right.
a lot of this stuff. I mean, we should really, quit feeding into this bullshit and do something better. Like, I don't know, plant a garden, pick up trash, read a book.
Well, and there are real things you can do,
There really are. There really are.
Like there's that guy, and I forget where he's based out of, but there's this guy that like used to be a part of the CIA, who was a part of the anti-sex trafficking department, and basically it got to a point where he was like, "There's too much red tape. I can't really do the things that I want to do." So he went off and he did it basically himself, and then with the donations of really good people, he used the skills that he learned in the CIA to go out and basically, take down a lot of these sex trafficking rings. And he's actually saved a ton of people's lives. Like, I think the last count was like more than 1,500 kids have been liberated by this guy. Yeah, over the last like 5 years. And it's like, see that guy, how many hashtags has that guy had? I'll give you the full count, 0. Because he doesn't care. He goes and he does something. And that's the point. If you want to do something, do it.
Here's my thing. You know what we should do? We should have pooled all that County 20. Give it to this dude.
Yeah, totally.
And then, we could have, 1,500. I mean, he could have gotten, freed all of Coney's child army or whatever.
Oh, a lot. Yeah, dude. We probably could have done a lot more. Now, because of obviously the limit of his resources and him wanting to have the biggest impact, most of what he's done has been on like Colombia, Venezuela, Chile. Not Chile, sorry. Colombia, Venezuela, what's it called? Peru. Just a lot of those places that are, more third world. He's starting to get to a point where he's going to get down to Brazil. He tried to do Mexico, but the government actually worked against him, which was sad.
Really sad. That's kind of disheartening.
Yeah. Well, Mexico and Central America have, those are bigger issues for another time. But anyway, that's the kind of thing is like, you can, like, there are ways to do it, and like, honestly, am I going to go down and fight against sex traffickers? Heck no. I'm a wuss. I would be a hindrance. I'm just saying. But like, when I have some extra cash one day, there was actually a day when I had an extra $5 that I wasn't planning on having. And so I put it to this guy's cause. And it's like, that's the thing. You find a real cause, you see real results, and it's like, do it. But don't hashtag it. That's stupid. Doesn't do anything.
Hashtag Jimmerosity.
Oh my gosh. Please don't use that hashtag. Yes. Gross.
Oh, gross. Man. Oh, I could not help myself. I think that's a good stopping point. We'll end with Jimmerosity.
Oh, gross.
Anyway, that's our show. I want to thank Caleb for coming on.
Of course.
Until next time, take care of yourself and each other. Peace.
Thank you for listening to the MCS1 show. For bi-weekly episodes on society and counterculture, subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher. For regular updates, show notes, and links, head to the MCS1show.com or search AOL keyword MCS1.